into Facebook. As soon as it's live, we'll start. So, and there we go. It should be live, so we should be good to go, guys. So, today, we are going to do Cloud CMA. So let me just find our thing here, and I'm going to start by sharing my screen. All right, so Cloud CMA depends on which MLS you belong to. Uh, you can access it for free through your MLS. Um, and either you, like with MLS PIN, we have it right up here on our tabs right here. If you are like in Cape and Islands or beaches, you're going to have a logo on your dashboard page. So once you go in, um, here's what you're going to see. I'm going to open this up. And so when you first come in, if you've already set up your account, you're going to see this. If not, it's going to ask you to set up an account. Um, so um, it'll say originally it's going to say that you're doing a trial. If you're not with MLS PIN or Beaches, it'll say you're doing a trial. Um, but once you put in all your company information, then it should be free after that. Now so you can go in the way I just went, or if you have the agent bundle, oops, what happened here? Come on. I was supposed to, there we go. If you have the agent bundle, you can go to your LAER website, and you would click on login here, and then you would sign in. So on your front page, don't click on sign up because you already have an account. Click on login, and when you get here to this page, you're going to see these four squares, and you'll click on these four squares. Let me get myself out of the way. And down here it says SSO, which stands for single sign on. And you see where it says Cloud CMA. You click here, and it's going to take you to your Cloud CMA account. So those are the two different ways of getting in. So now if you take a look here, you can see this one took me all the way into my CMA. Now there are a couple of things that you do need to do before you do your first CMA. Um, a couple of things that you'll need to do is you go up here, upper right-hand corner where you see it'll either be your photo or whatever you've put there, or it could be your initials. If it's your initials, it's going to probably be green. So you're going to go to account setup, account settings, and it's going to take you to this page. Now this page has a couple of important items on it. So first of all, it's going to have your name, and everything you put in here is how it's going to show up on your report. But one of the most important things you need to do, absolutely need to do, is you need to put in the name of the company. Now, for some reason, mine keeps defaulting to small letters for LAER. LAER should always be all caps. Um, and I'm always updating this. I don't know why, but I am. Anyway, so that's what's going to show up on the report. So for the company name, you have a couple of small choices. You can do LAER Realty Partners, you can do LAER Realty, and you can do LAER Bowen Realty. Um, any of those things will work, and it will tie the branding into your CMA. So um, once you're done, click on Save Profile. Now, if you have more than one MLS, like I do, um, you may end up needing to come back and changing what your primary MLS is going to be. My primary is going to be Massachusetts. I am in the Cape Cod and Islands Association. No, I'm not. I'm in the MLS PIN Association. And then I'm going to put in my MLS uh, login and password as if I was signing into my MLS. And that's the information I put in there, right? Now, if you're in, say, Florida, you have choices, beaches, Emerald, you can, whatever, any of these, right? Whatever MLS you're in. But we're going to go back here to Massachusetts, boom, and boom, boom. And then I'm going to update my MLS credentials. And, uh, huh, it didn't take that information. There we go. I've been updated. So my MLS credentials are there. And the reason this is important is because when this does its CMA, it's going to be pulling from whatever MLS you say that you are with. So, and I know that like if you're on the Cape and you belong to both the Cape and MLS PIN, that can be confusing. But uh, generally for doing a CMA, you're going to only pull from one MLS at a time. So, all right. So now that that part's set up, so just to recap, we're here. I had clicked on where's my photo here, where you might have your initials. You would click here, you go to account settings. I made sure this said LAER Realty Partners. If I was in Florida, I could say LAER Realty Bowen. Um, and MLS credentials, we updated my MLS credentials, so we're all set. So now we're going to go back and we're going to click on CMA. And what you're going to see is I have a ton of CMAs here. And these are really just a lot of these are uh, um, a lot of these are um, uh, uh, sample CMAs that I've done, test CMAs that I've done for classes. So you can see anybody who's named Tom Sellerman, that's a fake person. I usually just do a new CMA and use his name. I pick, you know, I've picked Marina Road quite a bit, only because I'm very familiar with that neighborhood. And also too, it's a unique neighborhood of all ranches that are on slabs. So you can really do a good comparison that way. So, all right. So to start a CMA, you have different ways of doing it. But the first and most important thing is you would click here, create a new CMA. And there are certain things that are required. You need to put in somebody's name. You got to put in the client's name. So, it could be Tom and Mary Sillerman 25, right? Say that's their name. And then I can put in private notes here and I can say this is a test CMA, or I could put in something else, whatever I wanted to put in. Next, I would do is put in the address. Now, this part's very important because this program will actually pull from um, tax records and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 5 Marina Road. I think that's the one I keep doing is Marina Road, right? 5? Is it 5 or is it 6 I keep doing? I think I keep doing 6, right? There we go. And it's giving me all these choices. And so it's like, I'm going to do the one in Chelmsford. And yes, I did. It was number 6. Yeah, yeah. So that's a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,280 square feet. See, that part's been filled in. Advanced info, it picked up the lot size, the year built, and the taxes. And I know that this one, by the way, has a 1-car garage attached. Um, and I know this is a ranch, right? So we're going to fill that part in. One thing here, it says 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It's actually, I know it has a bath and a half. So just remember, tax records can be wrong. So, all right, so that part is the important part for starting your CMA, okay? Um, the next part is going to be getting in and inputting the um, uh, listings that you want to use for your comps. Now, you have several different ways of getting comps in here, right? Um, y Quite often, I will just leave everything here blank, and I will let Cloud CMA pick and choose which comps it's going to use for me. Um, in the past, I have said automatically find listings that are near the subject property. But what I found is sometimes if a property is near a town border, it will pull listings from a different town. And so depending on where you are, that may or may not make sense. For where I am, that does not make sense. But choosing automatically near the property and you would choose properties that are at the very closest, and which is really very, very handy. Um, and even though it says get at least 10, I usually say get at least 20. So, um, And then you could put in more criteria. Like we could say, I only want ones with uh 2 to 4 bedrooms, right? Um, or bathrooms or square footage, or I can even narrow it down to just this list price, right? So I can put in that extra information if I want. So now there is another way of doing this too. So we're going to go over here to MLS. We're going to click search and we're going to say single families. We're going to say everything that's on the market, contingent, under agreement, or sold for the last 6 months, right? And we're going to choose Chelmsford here, right? Now, one of the cool things about your MLSs is, and you guys always have to continuously practice with it. So let me see what we got. 200 records. Woof. So we're going to narrow that down, 500 to 650. I don't think that's down to 58, 58 records, right? So that narrows it down some more. So you depends on your MLS. With MLS PIN, you can actually choose your properties here, and I can pick and choose which properties I want to add in to this MLS, into the CMA, right? And as you can see right now, there's one, two, three, a couple of contingents. So none of these are really similar to what we're looking for. Um, oh, look at this one. Let's see here. One Arbor Road. You know what? That's nearby, but it's got a basement. But you know what? That might be sort of kinda, I don't know. But or no, Arbor Road is not near there at all. Okay. Um, it's tough to figure out what you're gonna pick and choose, right? So you can just go through and say, this is that in that neighborhood. Like Craig Road, that's in that neighborhood. There we go. And 5 rooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1 car garage attached, very similar. So that's a really good comp, and they're on the market at, well, they sold for 510. But it's only 1 bathroom. But here's another one, Biscayne. So you can pick and choose what ones you want. Now, with with MLS PIN, you can click Cloud CMA, and what it's going to do is going to open up Cloud CMA, and you're going to be able to, and it'll automatically populate your CMA with the properties that you chose here, right? So that's one way they're doing it. The other thing you guys got to know is, and this happens with all of your MLSs, is you can actually download the properties um, and take the MLS IDs and input them into your CMA. Um, so like if I have chosen a bunch of properties here, just go through and pick a few real at random and everything, right? Boom. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to say I'm going to download. And then as you can see, these are the selected fields that are going to happen. And I'm going to say, hey, let's download this. And it's downloaded it here. I can open it up. And here is oh, what happened to it? Oh, there it is. Boom. And here are the properties I chose. Here's all the different information and everything. The important thing here, though, is now that I've downloaded this, right? Here is the MLS ID numbers. I can take this, right? And I can say Control C. I can go back to the Cloud CMA. I can go um, here to MLS ID numbers. I can Control V and input those numbers, and it's going to automatically uh, add those properties to the CMA. So that's the different ways of adding your comps into your CMA. So before we go further, let me just make sure that we are broadcasting here. Hmm, online, boom, boom, boom. Nope, that's not it. Let's just do this again. Hang on. Let's do here. Sorry, guys, I'm over on the other line trying to make sure we're broadcasting. There we are. Yay. Okay, so let me just check and see if we have any questions or comments. All right. No questions there. Okay, that's good. Whoop, hmm. And boom. Boom. There we go. All right. And then let's see what we have over here. Do we have any questions? Nope. Nope. All right. So we're good for now. All right. So now I'm going to leave everything here blank because I want to show you how good this is at fetching the listing. So um, what I did is I put in this information here, right? It's got the address and I chose from the drop down on the address. Um, that's going to use that information. I'm going to click on fetch listings, and now it's going to take me to the next page, and it's going to show me a bunch of listings that have been chosen. And from these listings, I can pick and decide, choose whether I'm going to use them or not, right? So um, here we go. Janet Road, definitely in that neighborhood. Craig Road in that neighborhood. Wilds, definitely. Um, Kirsten, uh, uh, I'm sorry, Kristen Drive, definitely in that neighborhood. So I can go through and say, oh yeah, these are all good properties. But here's a whole bunch that is unchecked that I could actually add if I wanted to. So like I know that 12 Prairie is actually a split entry. Might be a comp, I don't know. But here's the whole thing is like, so maybe you're thinking, yeah, I should use that one. No, I shouldn't. You can come here and click on notes and adjustments, and you can see photos of what the property is. See, it's a split entry, right? And here we go. Scrolling through right here. There we are. Um, and here's all that information right there. Um, and here is the remarks and everything. Now I can add additional remarks, right? I can say, nice house in the same neighborhood. So these are notes that I can put in, um, and I can just say add notes. There we go. And the note's been added, right? And then I can come down here and I can say, but you know, this is what's different. I think we should probably make an adjustment to this. Um, Truth is like this is not a bad comp. Quite often ranches and splits are very, very similar. So I don't think we're going to make any adjustments to this one, but let's see what else we have here. Um, and here we go. 50 Clarissa Road, right? We're going to take a look at 50 Clarissa Road. Oh, it's a colonial. We don't want to use that because we want to stick with ranches. What else do we have here? Let's see here. 13 Judith. Let's take a look at 13 Judith. There we go. That's a nice looking ranch, right? And for whatever reason, a program decided not to include it. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at this and say, how is this different than what we had from Marina, our main property? So now one of the things that happens is you can make small adjustments to the marketing price, and we're not acting as appraisers. What we're doing is we're making adjustments to a marketing value, and the whole purpose of a CMA is to guide the seller into the right price range where they should be, right? And so you're going to say, yeah, you know what? I want to use this one, but it's 5 bedrooms. Wow, let's go ahead and use this one, but it's 5 bedrooms. And I think for marketing value, you know, a 5 bedroom compared to a 3 bedroom, I think that there should be a price difference there so that like if this house was really a 3 bedroom, here's what I think it probably would have sold for. So what we're going to do is go bedrooms, right? And let's say it's 20,000 per bedroom, right? So let's make an adjustment of let's make an adjustment of 35,000, right? So put it in here and we'll say 2 bedrooms, right? So now here's the tricky part is so remember we're here with Marina, right? We're saying, okay, so maybe the value of Marina is here, but that was a 5 bedroom, which is um would have a bigger value than Marina. So what we want to do is we want to bring uh the 5 bedroom down to the 3 bedroom level. So what we would do is we would figure out, you know, what would a buyer pay for 2 more bedrooms? Well, say maybe they might pay $35,000 more, right? Well, so what we would do is we would subtract it to bring it down to the level that Marina is on. So we would put a negative sign here, and we would say, let's save that. And so basically is what we're going to do is we're going to use this comp, but we're going to make an adjustment and say, if it was a three bedroom, it would have sold maybe probably around 515 instead, right? And so we could do individual adjustments to these just like that. So, um, and like here we go 10 Timmy Road. I'm pretty sure that's a ranch. Yes, it is. And it's got the one car garage, right? Which is great. But it has two bathrooms instead of a bath and a half. And so again, Marina Road is here and Temi Road is here. So we just want to bring it down so that we are able to compare apples to apples. So we might, and these are strictly guesstimates, and we're not acting as appraisers. We're trying to figure out the market value. So we'll say like, you know what, this one has a half a bathroom more, right? And we're going to bring the value down, right? And so let's say, what's a half a bathroom worth? Maybe 5,000, who knows? Um, and so instead of selling for, 575, maybe it would have sold for 570. So let me see what if we have here, a real low priced one that we are not including here. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, look at this, 24 Clarissa Road. Is that let's take a look. Yeah, well, very, very similar, extremely similar to Marina Road. So, let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. And Donna Road, let's see what Donna's got, four bedrooms, but it's not a ranch. So we could pick and choose. So if we had one that was say a two bedroom that we wanted to use a comp, right? And Marina is here, and there's a two bedroom here. We would add money to the value to bring it up to compare it to Marina. So the whole idea is to try and compare apples with apples. All right. Hopefully all this makes sense. So now that we've picked and chose which properties we want, the next step is if you want to use a net sheet, right? Quite often, sellers like net sheets. They like to see what the projected sale might be, right? Kind of a price range and everything. You can also use it to kind of help better guide the sellers into the right price range too. So all of this is very good. Um, so here's what we have then is we're going to figure out what do you think we should put Marina on for? Right now it's saying the average is 581, the median is 570, right? So probably, Marina Road, actually it's going to sell for very close to whatever 24 Clarissa was. That was an extremely similar property. Let's see, where did Clarissa go? Here it 10 Temi at 575, right? We adjusted that to 570. Um, where is Clarissa? Clarissa. And, huh. Well, I cannot. Oh, there it is. 24 Clarissa. Oh, I should have added that one. And that's 560, right? And the adjustment is here. So now we're average is 579, median is 565. That kind of gives you a good idea. So we think probably this property should be priced around. Um, just put in the dollar sign and probably around say 565 to say let's see. Average is 578. Let's say 575. So, basically is we're using this to help guide the seller into the right price range is what we're doing here. So boom, 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 boom. So there it is, 565, 575. We can add additional notes if we're going to use a net sheet. Once we put a number in here, it'll activate a couple of other things. And so now we can say, hey, you know what? In Massachusetts, the seller pays a tax stamp, right? And it's $4.56 per thousand. So let's see here. Probably going to be $2,800, right? I'm guessing. Uh, we're going to save that. It could be recording fees, right? And you could put that in, right? And probably what, $450 probably. You can put in your commission and what you're going to charge the seller. Because with the new rules, you could say, you know, um, listing commission, and let's just put in whatever 3% would be, and let's see, 3% of 570, 57. Uh, let's just say 20,000 because I'm not going to do the math right now. Here we go. But, and we're going to save this. And so if you like to use net sheets, you can put whatever you want in here to let them know these are your expenses. And if we price it at 565, you're going to walk away with approximately 540,000. So all of that is in there. Um, and now that we've done that, now we can go either up here at the top where it says customize report, or we can go down here to the bottom where it says customize report. We're going to click that, and now it's going to take us to the next page. And I'm going to check and see if we have any questions. Nope, no questions. We're all good there. And let's see what we got here. And no questions here either. All right, guys, we're good. All right, so if this is your first time doing a CMA with Cloud CMA, there's one more thing that you need to do, right? And that is the theme right here. Now, when you first start, if this is your first time in, right, it's going to have a theme of, I don't know, it could be a red and black theme or blue and gold, but you'll see it right here, right? Now, here's the other interesting thing is, so if it this doesn't say Layer Realty, you need to make a change, right? And the other thing is, um, over here on the right, it'll have standard pages, but it'll say nothing here about Layer, right? And then down here, you'll see premium pages, Power Pack pages, pages that they actually would want you to, oh, didn't mean to do that. Pages that you would need to purchase, right? And there's also the Tom Ferry pages in here too. So if you come here and you see the Power Pack and the Tom Ferry, you're in the wrong section. You haven't updated your theme. That's what it is you need to do. So um, if you remember back here, we went to account settings and we went to in a place where it said company name. And if you put your company name in correctly, either Lair Realty or Lair Realty Partners or um, Lair Realty Bowen, sorry, Lair Realty Bowen, um, then when you come here to theme, you're going to have only one choice for branding. So you come here and it says red and blue, red and black, or whatever color, right? You scroll all the way up to the very top and ignore affiliates. And here it's going to say branded. Now, if you come here and the only branding you see is the Lair Realty Partners, then you got it correct. But if you come here and you see that there's also choices for Remax and Century 21 and everything else, then you need to go back to your account settings and double check the name of the company that you have. But says Lair Realty Partners, so I'm going to click here and I'm going to choose that theme. And now what you're going to see is over here on the left, this has changed. So now you have just the standard. You don't have anything else. You don't see anything over here about Lair. And the reason for that is because all the Lair pages are already in here. But so on here, you can actually like move pages around. Oops, hang on, there we go. You can put them in different orders, however you want to do it. And if we come down here to title page is always after the layer pages. I always like to move it up to the top. Title page should be the title page. So anyways, you can move the pages in different order. You can take a look and see what is what. So if you click here, it'll open up a preview. And this is the blank page that I always remove. So we're going to remove this one and click on that arrow. Boom. And it's gone. And you can see now there is a column for Lair Realty. There we go. You can say, let's take a look at the Lair Cares one. This is a pretty good page. So it's going to open this up someday. My computer always slows down for whenever I'm doing a Zoom. But here's the Layers Care page. Um, uh, it's a great page to include. So one of the things is with the branding, you'll have all these pages to choose from, and every page is going to be um, with the Layer logo at the top. Everything will be in the Layer colors. And when you get down to other pages, you'll see it'll have all your information at the bottom of the page. So all right, there's a couple of other pages here that you can actually edit and update. The cover letter, I usually use a cover letter. I'll put it there, second one in. Um, our company, I usually don't use that one because it's kind of a generic thing where we already have better pages for it. But again, you can see here is the layer colors, and at the bottom of every page is going to be your information. Um, and I uploaded my photo, so my photo is there. And there's the layer logo. So that's going to be in every page. However, we have other layer pages, so I'm not going to use this one. And I have done, so here's a page that I could edit. I could go through and update and do whatever, but I did not. So I'm going to eliminate that one. So here is everything in the order it's going to appear in the CMA, the traditional CMA, which is going to be a PDF, right? So everything we're working on right now is to create a PDF. Now, everything we work, there's two present ways to do a presentation with this program. You can do the traditional way with a PDF, right? Print it out, um, bind it together, take it to send it to one of the offices, go to an office. You can print it on any of our printers. If the admin's there, she'll be glad to bind it for you too, no problem. Um, so anyway, so the other way is a online view, and so we'll cover that at the end. So um, we're going to go up here. Um, Other thing is I wanted to show you there are additional pages we can add in here. I like this intelligent one, intelligent pricing and timing. I'm going to add that one in. First impressions, that's another good one. So I'm clicking these plus signs, right? And it's going to add it into the CMA, and it's going to add it in to a predetermined place, right? Um, but I can still say, you know what? I think this one should be over here, or maybe that one should be there, right? And I can do that. Also, there's a testimonial chapter. They put all these in, but if you don't aren't paying to be on testimonial tree, you don't want to put that one in or whatever. So I usually just take my testimonials out. I have my own testimonial page if somebody is ever asking. So now that we've got this far, any template that I use, I can pick and choose. I can say, hey, I want to save this template, right? Or I can pick a template that I've already created, right? Um, so here's a Len with 30 pages, Len's template 25. So you can see I've done a few templates, whatever. Or I could just save it as a brand new template if I like the order everything's in. So now that we got this far, yep. Now we're going to go and we're going to publish the report. And this is going to the uh, put together the PDF. Um, I'm just going to X that out. And this is new. I don't know what this is about. Uh, but as you can see, it's publishing. And you see the other output is going to be a view live, a live report. We'll cover that in a second. There we go. Now we're going to open up the PDF and we're going to take a look at the PDF. So basically is in this way, this is the traditional presentation. Um, the first page, the title page, I chose to have a satellite view. And truth is like you could put, if you had a picture of the house already, you could put it there. Um, but anyway, so here's the address, here's the sellers, here's the cover letter. Here is like the LAER page, 42 offices, 750 agents. Here's all the information. And as you go, you can see everything is in the LAER colors and the LAER logos at top. And then once we get past here, here's the boost, right? 20-point marketing plan. By the way, you can actually go in and make changes to this if you want. There we go. There's me. Yay. And then here at the bottom, every page going forward is going to have my information, my photo, my cell phone, my email, and the Lair logo. And then the first page is going to be a map of all the comps that we're using. And I don't think we had anything that was active at the moment, so very common lately. But so here are the comps that I used. All these are the solds and the pendings, and then it's going to uh, break them out. So here is like it tells you number 9 is 211 Concord Road, 211 Concord Road, number 9, so you can find it that way. Here is all the comps we use for sale, and you can see comes down to averages of 566, $433 per square foot. With the adjustment, because we made a couple of adjustments, it actually brought the average down to 542. So it made somewhat of a difference. And it depends on how detailed you want to get into it. We could have easily lifted both of those homes at the same price and just said, you know what? It was like it explained to the seller that they were in, but you know what? They were a little bit above Marina, so we can definitely do it that way. So hang on. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, so as we scroll down, here's all the listings. So I chose to have this listed as with two front photos, right? And then all the information, then the remarks. And then I also chose to add the next 12 photos that MLS had on this property. So you can choose whether or not you want to do that or not. It adds a lot of pages because like but here at 64 pages. But sometimes it's important. So um, Craig Road, 510. Um, ta-da. It was kind of a little bit of snow on the ground at the time. It sold, but here's all the information. Here's the remarks. Here are the next 12 photos. Um, what a lovely dining room. Look at that wallpaper. Is that awesome or what? I don't know. Anyway, so as you go down, you're going to see all these properties, and you can put this into a book. You can put this into a book, and you can go through it and explain this to the seller, point out the pictures, and say, you know what, look at this. This property has really nice carpeting. Compared to your shag, this was much better. Or you can say, you know what, your kitchen is much better than this one, or this kitchen's been updated just like yours. That's why it's so similar, and that's why it's at 654. Blah blah blah. Whatever you want to do. Um, and anyway, so now we're going to go down through. These are all the properties and the photos. And now we're going to go down to the adjustments. It's just going to show you what adjustments we did make for this particular property on Judith Road. We made an adjustment here, right? And we keep going down. Somebody had some purple lighting here. I don't know. Weird. And we're going to keep going down, down. Now we're to the analysis part, right? And so here are the comps, and this is kind of like a little scale that shows you side by side, what the averages are. And because we made price adjustments, it's showing what the difference is in price adjustments too. And then here is this is an interesting page. You can choose to use it or not. In this case, I think I would because it's showing that the Z estimate can be as much as $185,000 off. I mean, 40%. It can be 40% wrong. This is crazy, isn't it? So, like 28 Wilds Road, right? The Z estimate was 655, but it sold for 470. But you know what? 28 Wilds Road was on the open market, so people did not see it as a value of 655,000. So that's how far off it was. Here's another one that was off by 10%, 17%. So it's good to show that, if you want to use it, it's good to show that how far off Z estimates can be. So here are all the properties showing that overall they sold for 105% of the asking price after 16 days. And here is a suggested list price. We put this number in, right? If you guys remember that. Um, and it's showing what the comparables are, averages. And then here is the seller's net sheet. We're saying, hey, 565, you're going to pay these expenses. You'll walk away with about maybe 540. So this is a good sheet. I like this one. I think we picked one that was, wow, look at that. It was on for 54 days. Huh, didn't know that. It started here, and the last price before it went under agreement was here. This one is showing that the price was here, but it sold for that, so it went higher. This one sold for much higher than asking. Here's one. It was sold for here and sold for a little bit less. And so what you're showing here is um, what we're showing here is what the price is sold for. So here's that one. It sold for 96% of the asking price, right? So, um, and Wild sold for 103% of the asking price. Here's the average for square footage. All this information is great. So you do need to sit down with this. You need to go through this yourself ahead of time and read everything. It's very important. So that you can talk intelligently about everything. Um, these are all good pages to have in here. And as you can see, everything's in the LAER colors. It's got the um, my information and the logo and everything. So that is the traditional presentation. Let me just check and see. No questions here, no questions there. That's good. Let's take a look at the live view. This is the last part of my presentation today, and this is pretty good. So here is what you could do is you could take this, download it to your tablet, and meet with the seller and just kind of go through it and everything else. So if you had your tablet out, this is what it would look like. And then you can just like um, click on anything here, and it's going to open up the page so that you can show it. Uh, and here's a great page to start with, right? And then you could navigate through this. Now you could click here and go back a page, or you can click here and go to the next page, or you can click here and go back to the home page, right? Now we're going to come down here to the comps. This is really cool. I clicked on the comps, right? And so again, at the bottom, it shows you can go to the previous page, which was what is a CMA, right? Right here, boom. And then comps right here, or you can skip the comps and go to average price per square foot. But here's the cool thing is, here are all the comps, and you can click here and you can scroll through and you can see everything. Isn't that great? And then there's a little bit more information down here in the bottom. Depends on how big your computer screen is. The other cool thing is like I was talking about 24 Clarissa Road being really close, right? So for 560, listed at 535, you can talk to them about that. But here we click on the picture and it's going to open up the actual listing. Here's all the remarks. Here's the like information, specific information about it, right? And then here are additional photos. A lot of photos of the backyard. All right, so here we go. And oh, it's got a red brick chimney, fireplace. Pretty unusual for that neighborhood. Pretty cool. But anyway, so this is 24 Clarissa. Here's all the info. You can talk about it. And then the other cool thing is, say there's something you really want to point out, you can click here and you say, look at that lot size, what? That's like half an acre. That's pretty good, built 1961. So and whatever you want to do there, right? And highlight things as you're doing this. So it's pretty cool. Now say you're saying like, okay, after 24 Clarissa, let's go down here to the bottom. We're going to go to 13 Judith next, right? So here's another one. Now 13 Judith. It's got the two-car garage, and you go through. You can talk about it, blah blah blah, and then you say, hey, let's go to 8 Craig. And so you have down here at the bottom, you can go from um, uh, uh, comp to comp, right? Then you come back here, click this arrow, and it takes you to all the comps right here. And then say, all right, we're going to go to the next page. And this one is the average price per square foot. And here's that one graph that we had that was shows you um, what the sale price is for the square footage, everything else. You can use this. Let's go to average pricing and it'll divide. So we didn't have anything active. We only had two pending. So it just kind of shows you this. Truthfully, if we were in a closer, more normal market, when you do a CMA, ideally we would want to use um, four or five, maybe six sold properties at the very most. But what you want to do is you want to try and choose properties that are as similar to the subject property as possible. And then you would want to choose up to three pending properties so that you can show the seller what buyers are actually pulling the trigger on. And then actives, you'd only want three actives at the most, maybe four, but just to show the seller who their competition is. And the competition would be the price in that price range, right? Competition may not necessarily be a ranch, but it would be maybe it could be a split entry price the same or a cape price the same. So you want to show them who the competition is if there was more on the market. Right now there isn't, so that's what it is. So all right, so here we are. We've gone through this. We can keep going on, and there's some great pages here to take a look at. Oh, I know what I want to do. So here is this one page that shows you like this one, right? Priced here, sold there. So check this. I click here. It's going to bring up that property. Yep, that is 13 Kristen Drive, right? And I can even click here and see even more information on it. So in a lot of ways, the live version is very, very helpful. So. All right, guys. That is just about everything. If you have any questions, I don't see any questions here or there. So if you do have questions, please email happyagent@lairrealty.com. Um, and we'll be always glad to answer your questions. Um, and I think that if you're having trouble getting the branding on your toolkits, I'm sorry, on your cloud CMA, um, email us at Happy Agent and we'll be glad to help you out on that. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great afternoon. Let's just do a stop share. Boom, boom. Nope. What happened here? Huh. Where am I? There we go. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.